is going on, everyone?
Absolutely. The agenda is pulled up. I have my agenda.
I have my agenda as well. I'm hoping it's the same agenda, so this isn't an awkward.
I mean, shit.
Sort of.
We had a shit ton of things to talk about any fucking way, so.
Yeah, a couple of these things are outdated.
Yeah.
That. Okay, I think we're good.
Yeah, we're not too bad, I don't think.
No, I wasn't like saying like, oh, that's outdated. I'm like going through it and like trying to refresh my like thoughts and memories and
I feel
all of them.
All right. So that's the deal with that, bro. I got my COVID shot yesterday.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say like I'm not in the situation where I'm not feeling well, but I'm definitely sore and tired.
I'll tell you this. I got on Wednesday. I got tattooed, and I got they call it the abyss, right? The inside of the elbow.
Ouch.
And I'll get back to that in a second. I got tattooed on Wednesday. I got 2 tattoos done, and then on Thursday I got my first dose.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm telling everyone. I feel like I'm starting to get a little bit cocky because like my elbow and then the inside of my elbow like didn't particularly hurt like that. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. Yeah.
So if my knee ditch, the back of my knee, once I get that tattooed and it doesn't hurt, I'm gonna think I'm invincible. I'm gonna start playing in traffic. So that's the plan. But Thursday I got my first dose, and Friday, dude, I was like, don't get me wrong, I was not like bad, bad, but I was like, dude, if I didn't have stuff to do, I would have honest to God went home and slept until Saturday morning.
Yeah, bro. I feel that like you said you got the first dose. Which one? I mean, I don't want to put your business out there, but which one did you get?
Yeah, it's Moderna.
Oh, you got the Moderna. Yeah, I got Pfizer. And fuck, like you said, like it's not to the situation where I just want to crawl into a hole, but like.
But given the opportunity to, you're not going to say no.
Correct. And I'm kind of feeling a little like,
Yeah, I was like I said, mine was like a combination of like 4 symptoms combined, and if it was like 1 or 2 of them, I would have been okay. I would have been like, I'll power through it. Like because the 4, like I was sore all the way around. I had a headache. My fucking like nasal cavities were just all out of whack and this and that, and then just like, dude, this like overwhelming urge to just die. You know what I mean? I was just like, I want to go home. I do not want to listen to the Chariot today, which is kind of new. And I kind of just want to like close my eyes for a little bit and see where I end up. You know what I mean?
I feel
and then
that.
boom, I'm like I'm in a Kojima game, right? That's how they start.
Yeah,
Here's your first vaccine dose. Ha ha ha! I am the villain. Ha ha
ha! For show. All right, buddy. Are you ready to go ahead and get this podcast fucking cracking?
I am, sir.
What is going on, guys? Welcome to the Second City Kids podcast, episode 169.
169.
Nice. Yeah, and we are back. Now, I know it's been a decent amount of time for in between shows. You guys know the deal, right? You know, we're only going to talk if we got a lot of stuff to talk about, and we've been, I speak for myself, and I know Gabe's been busy. We've been very busy over the last couple of weeks, so we wanted to get together and do the show. Gabe actually said it during my sister's wedding last week that he wanted to do the show, so if Gabe says it's time to do the show, you know it's time to do the show. So
it's just one of those things where you have a sweet spot where it's like, oh, we got a couple topics on there. We could probably get like 30 minutes out of it. And then it's like, dude, this is like overwhelming right now. If we put anything else on this thing, we're going to run for 2-3 hours.
Yeah. And it's kind of hard to do that nowadays. But Gabe, how has your last couple of weeks been?
Good, man. I got sort of no complaints. I got some possible like big life changes coming up that I mentioned in the other Discord channel that I don't want to quite publicly state yet, because it's going to be like, you know, if you put it out there and then it doesn't happen, people are going to be like, "Whoa,
why? What happened?"
No. Yeah. And then today I kind of want to throw this out there because I feel like it's kind of an issue and it's something I've been dealing with. I hardcore like relapsed today. I went out and I bought $300 worth of packs and cards.
Oh no! Well, for what? What did you get?
I got Yu-Gi-Oh! They dropped like a throwback pack last week, and like the nice shiny rares are like going for $300 to $700 at the moment. And so my justification was, well, if I pull just one of them, I break even.
Yeah, paid for
and
itself.
Plus I get to keep all the other. I did not pull any of the 5.
Oh no!
And so I was like opening them. I was like, well, you know, like running the numbers and the stats in the back of my head. I was like, yeah, well, like, you know, I'm like statistically, I'm going to pull one, right?
Yeah.
And I was down to the last box. I bought 3 boxes.
Whoa!
Right? I'm down to the last box and the last like 3 packs, and it just dawns on me. I was like, they're not in here. I was like, they're just not in here, right? Because like you usually pull them. either super early, like first 5, or you pull it like middle towards the end, like 11 packs, right? And then like once you're down to the bottom, it's like the coffee grounds. They just sort of settle, and you know everything at the bottom is just kind of going to be dookie.
Yeah, for sure, man. I've been doing my mini baseball card collection, so I know the fucking feeling on that one.
Yeah, so I just like the guys. None of my friends went with me because I just don't want that there. But there were a couple people in the shop were like, "Hey man, you pull anything yet?" And I was like, "No." And I just this big stack of like cardboard and foil right next to me, and I'm just like, "It'll happen though." And then I was like leaving. I was like, "Well, if I buy 3 more boxes." I was like, no. I went in. I was like, I'm willing to lose these $300. I've had a good week. All my bills are paid and shit like that. And I was like, if nothing happens, I will have a stack of good throwback cards that I enjoy looking at the very least.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair enough. Well, what are you looking for in particular? Is there anything in particular that you're looking for?
Yeah, so there's this rarity in Yu-Gi-Oh! Called Ghost Rare, and it's like super like it looks like a ghost, right? That's like the point of it, right?
Fair.
And like there's 5 of them, and like I said, like the lowest one is like $300, and the money card is like $600-ish at the moment. It's a very classic card. It's Dark Magician. You know what I mean? It's like one of the Yu-Gi-Oh cards. When you think Yu-Gi-Oh, you think Dark Magician, Blue Eyes White Dragon. Even if you've only ever seen the game in passing, those are 2 very iconic pieces.
For sure. Yep.
So I was hoping, I was like, well, I'm probably not going to get the money card, but I'll get a money card.
Yeah.
But I'm just sort of counting up my totals. And I'm like, all right, that's $60 I can recoup.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel that. Like I said, I've been doing my baseball card collection, same kind of deal. You're like, okay, if I was in the hunt for one card in particular, and I still haven't pulled one.
Yeah, and it's like you don't want to buy the single because like you tell somebody like, hey man, I spent like $200 on this one piece of cardboard, they're gonna look at you. But if you tell them like, hey, I bought like 2 packs, I had like $10, and I pulled my money card, that sounds a lot better.
Absolutely, for sure. All right, buddy. For me, I've been very busy. My sister's wedding, which I would say was tremendously successful. It was a hoot.
It was an absolute blast.
Yeah, it was an absolute hoot. I usually hate these things. Like, I don't like standing up in weddings. I don't like getting dressed up. It's literally the antithesis of everything that I enjoy. But we had a good time. You and Nikki came by. We had far too much to drink, and I know I know you guys went out after the fact, but
yeah, I was gonna say, I was pretty good, and then we went to a bar afterwards, right? And I woke up the next morning, I was like, damn, I kind of drank a lot last night, but it wasn't hitting me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Very well paced, I was like, this is a feeling I haven't had in quite a while.
Absolutely. So yeah, an absolute blast. And outside of what I got planned next, which is my son's baby shower, coming up in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be relatively quiet here at the Hadamio household. So, pretty excited about the next couple of quiet weeks, and got some things in the works myself that you and I will talk about off air. And it was finally nice to meet your girlfriend. I'm going to rant and rave about how wonderful she is, but we'll do that off air as well. And then, let's go ahead and just get into this fucking crazy ass agenda. All right?
Cool. So, I feel like when we tell our partners that, like, hey, I went down this YouTube rabbit hole, they don't get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's a very real thing. Like, my girlfriend doesn't use YouTube like that. She'll use it for, like, school stuff, and that's pretty much it. Whereas I would argue that YouTube is my main source of entertainment.
I'm the exact same way, so I know exactly what
you mean. Like, we have the Netflix, we have the Disney, we have the Hulu, and, we have the internet, sort of, right? But it's like, I don't know, I feel like a quick 10, 15-minute video, like, on the drive to work, or, like, on my lunch, or even, like, some downtime at the office. Like, I'll be like, I'll consume this, right? And it's not like a guilty, like, I'm still doing work. You can still sort of listen in the background. Whereas I feel like a show, something like Sabrina or whatever fucking original you want to toss out there, the visuals are a big part of it.
For sure.
And not to say that YouTube's not, but certain channels, whatever, right?
Yeah, I feel.
And so I fell down this, like, interesting sort of, like, rabbit hole where this person, and forgive me, I can't recall the channel name off the top of my head, but they, like, do a Johnny Walker sort of walkthrough, a tier list, and things of that nature. And so, what brand or color of Johnny Walker do you usually go for?
The least expensive.
So red label.
Red, okay. Yes, red, yeah.
And I would argue that most people go for red label. I like my Johnny, and I don't mind spending a little bit on it. So we usually get black or double black in this house, but it also doesn't go super quick. It'll be like, oh, well, I'll buy a bottle, and then it'll like sit around for a while. You crack it open, half of it's gone.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's not like every weekend we buy a bottle. But so apparently there's a couple of facets. I have one fact and one rumor for you that I thought you'd find super interesting. Which one do you want to hear first?
Give me the fact.
Sure. I'm going to pose it in the form of a question, and you're going to answer it. How many bottles of whiskey or Scotch has Johnny Walker distilled in the lifetime of the company?
How many bottles did you ask me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's got to be within the millions, right?
I'll accept broad answers, I guess. Yeah. Is that your guess? Like millions, hundreds of millions?
I would say 50 million.
50 million. Not a bad guess. So actually, they have distilled 0 bottles because they blend whiskeys. They do not distill anything.
Oh.
I thought that was a fun one because you know, the YouTuber posed the question. I was like, oh, it's got to be like a couple 100 million.
Yeah.
Not including shit from like the 1900s before there was like a proper inventory system, right?
Huh.
And they're like, no, Johnny Walker blends. They do not distill their own.
That's interesting. So where do they source their shit from then?
I don't know. I didn't go that deep into it because
Okay.
I feel like that's its own rabbit hole.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And if you're looking up like that sort of stuff, Johnny Walker's going to put you on their black label list. See what I did there? You know, and then some dude named Johnny is going to show up to your door and his partner's named Walker, and they're going to just shoot you.
Johnny and Walker are going to fuck you up, huh?
Yeah. So, and then I'll give you this rumor first. And I kind of like entertaining the thought, but apparently there's a super secret bottle of Johnny Walker out there called White Label. Now, it's not the White Walker stuff with the Game of Thrones. It's not the Jane Walker with the white sort of label. It's like Johnny Walker White Label. It is not commercially available. And so the rumor states that you do not go out and buy a bottle of this. It gets delivered to you. If you're that important, you will get a bottle. And I sort of like that. I like this sort of like weird, I don't even know if to call it like folklore, but I like this like weird sort of like mythos around just innocuous brands. You know what I mean? Like Johnny Walker is a very like household name. Yeah. And just, you know, if you're that high up and you're that top dog shit at the end of the day, you will get a bottle. It'll find its way to you. You don't find it.
That's pretty cool. Very exclusive.
I don't know. I just thought it was something cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, because you talk about the YouTube rabbit hole. Yesterday, I asked, like, I posed the question on how exactly do hot springs get hot. Found that out, and then somehow I ended up in Iceland trying to find out Icelandic vowels. Like, it ended up.
Then you know, before you know it, it turns out that this YouTuber, his cousin's roommate's uncle's goldfish's owner was roommates with Vili Valo, and then you're like, boom, well, now I got to go on a him kick again, right?
Exactly.
That's how rabbit holes work. Is just loosely interconnected topics, and then before you know it, you leave YouTube on for long enough, and you're like wrapped back around to a video you saw a decade ago. And you're like, why does this have 10 million views?
Bro, that's how I ended up back with the fucking Angry Video Game Nerd the other day. And I've been on this crazy.
Super relevant.
Super relevant. One of the OG YouTube stars, I would have to say. And yes, he's still
one of the most consistent YouTubers as well.
Absolutely.
In quality and in quantity.
Yeah, if anything, he's gotten better over time, like a fine wine, man. It is what it is.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into it.
Cool. Let's talk movies, TVs, and books. I kind of threw this out there. What horror movies or series do you think should have done better? Bigger numbers.
Horror series that should have done better. That's actually a very interesting question. I'm surprised we haven't gotten more Scream movies. If I'm being honest.
More Scream movies?
Yeah.
And you say that because the upcoming sort of revival is happening?
Supposedly. I believe it when I see it. I believe it when I see it.
Cool.
Let me think. Oh, shoot.
I think this is a super hard category to qualify because like a lot of horror movies don't do big numbers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just
like, I'd say 90% of horror movies don't do big numbers.
Just the nature of the genre, because I think I tell this to people all the time that there's something about horror that people automatically tack in the bad label with. Like if it's a horror movie, it's bad.
Well, I actually have an explanation for that, right?
Okay.
It's because horror is one of the cheapest genres to produce. And so for a while, a lot of these companies were just churning them out. And they're like, okay, well, if it costs $2 million to make and we get $4 million back off it, that's still a profit.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and that's why you get all this schlock out there.
Especially like there was an era, and you know it, from like the mid 2000s to like maybe about 5 years ago, where they were doing PG-13 horror movies, and it's just movies for goofy teenagers to go see over the weekend that are horrible, but like you said, relatively cheap to produce, and you're going to get your money back because teenagers are going to see their horror movies, quote unquote, you know? So I could see that.
Yeah. And there's also like this weird double edge to horror movies, because I feel like it's one of the few genres that you're like, let's go see it because it's so good, but also let's go see it because it's so bad. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So you kind of have two wiggle rooms here.
Yeah,
you can make it so terribly dog shit that it's almost like a parody of itself. And people will be like, this is great. You'll have YouTubers writing like 10-page like reviews about how woke this movie is. When in actuality, the director was like, no, I thought that it was very serious.
Right? Yeah. What's the most recent Black Christmas? That was a good. I don't know if you saw that, but holy shit.
My nephew is staying with us because they're remodeling his house, and he's 20 going on 21, you know, and we're slowly starting to like get along quite well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he was like, we were watching a horror movie last night. He's like, hey, can we watch this one horror movie? I saw it. I thought it was pretty good. And I'm like, yo, dude, like I've been watching horror for like much longer than you have, because he's just getting into it, whereas I feel like you and I grew up with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, we'll watch the trailer. It's not readily available to stream. If I like the trailer, we can rent it for the $2 or $3. How does that sound? Right?
Okay.
He's like, okay. And the premise, I can't remember the fucking title of it, but it's like, it's an app that you download and it tells you how much time you have left to live, right? And like the main character, she downloads it. It's like 2 days and like 20 hours or whatever, right?
Okay.
And then slowly all the shit starts coming like true. And I was like, listen, dude, I've seen this sort of premise where like, oh, you have X amount of time to live, like The Ring.
The Ring, yeah.
So many movies have done it. Like, what newness can you sort of bring to the table with this premise?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like, listen, dude, I got like 10 movies lined up for you in that sort of vein.
That are way better, yeah.
That are like tried and true, right?
Yeah.
And I just thought it was funny because he was like, "Oh, well, you know, what about that like a horror movie where like the premise is that it's a game?" And I'm like, "Oh, so you mean Saw?
Yeah.
You want to watch the 10 Saw movies, 9 or 10 that are out right now?" I was like, "I will save you the trouble. Let's watch the first 3.
Yeah,
and then we can watch a highlight clip of all the best kills on YouTube. Like, don't waste fucking 15 hours or 20 hours watching all of them. Like, I will give you the expedited process from somebody who has seen all of them."
See, this is Gabe is officially in the Murtaugh category, where he's just like, I'm too old for this shit.
Like, listen, dude, I sat through and watched all of the Hellraisers. I can tell you the only ones worth your time are 1, 3, 5, and then maybe 7, depending how like spicy you're feeling, right?
Yeah, no, definitely, for sure. Man, but going back to your original topic, I feel like all the good horror movies did good numbers.
And then like it's also, I was gonna say, this is like a hard category because it's like, just because a movie doesn't do super well right now in theaters, a lot of these fucking films pick up cult followings like a few months to a year down the line, and then boom, suddenly you have like a resurgence or resurrection merch, like all these like extras, because the, you know, filmmakers, producers, directors, studio was like, oh shit, people are like finally seeing, you know, they're finally getting around to it.
Absolutely. So yeah, I don't have an exact answer for you, but I have a feeling that's probably going to lead into your next topic here.
What's my next topic?
It says Mother.
No.
Oh.
No, that's a totally separate topic. I do have a movie. It is by our beloved Sam Raimi.
Oh, okay.
Remember Spider-Man?
I do.
Evil
Dead, but okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Spider-Man, Evil Dead. There's a very sort of thick contrast here. Right?
Okay.
The movie is called Drag Me to Hell, 2009. It's on Hulu.
Okay.
I am not going to tell you anything about the movie. Go out and watch it because it's properly fucking good.
Like, actually good?
Like Sam Raimi good. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's such I don't know. Go ahead, Gabe.
It's a good standalone film, and if it didn't have Sam Raimi's name on it, it would still do well.
Okay, fair enough.
But I feel like his sort of directing style, you get a groove for it in like a good way.
Okay, fair enough.
Does that make sense? I'm not grading it on a Tarantino scale, like,
you can't.
Oh, it's good because it's Tarantino.
Yeah.
Because I hate doing that.
Yeah.
But it's a good name even if he wasn't at the helm.
Okay. I can get with that.
You feel me?
I can feel you on that.
It's a very good, solid, competent horror movie. Drag Me to Hell. It's on Hulu, 2009. Check it out. It's absolutely worth the watch.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. I'm going to put that on the QEQ. Excellent.
Cool. I got a movie review.
Sure.
My girlfriend talked me into watching Mother. So it's a 2017 film. It sort of it pinged on my radar around that time. I never got around to it until now.
Okay.
So it's Javier Bardem, right?
Okay, cool.
Dude, absolutely murders it in this movie. Really fucking phenomenal, right?
Okay.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to give you anything about the movie except that it's Javier Bardem and his wife, who's the main character. They are rebuilding a house, and Javier Bardem is a writer in this film, and he's sort of like out of ideas, right? So he spends a lot of this time going like, what is going to be my next big story? Like, I was so good, blah, blah, blah. Like, I need another big story, and he's sort of out of inspiration, right? Okay. And so the wife is pretty much a stay-at-home sort of wife, right? Mm-hmm. She like her essentially her job is to replicate the house from his childhood. That's it, right? So every day she does cool things, works here, works there, super artsy. The house is absolutely gorgeous. And then sort of these two people show up, they take up residence, and they're just super weird and intrusive, right? And then as the story progresses, like somebody dies, they hold a funeral, and like this whole time Javier Bardem is being super like accommodating and like, yes, we can have it here. Like, these are new people. I need to hear their stories. I need like inspiration, even if it's from some folks we barely know. Okay. This movie is nothing what you expect it to be. And at the halfway point, it pulls a total number on your fucking head. And there's one scene in particular where you see it, you'd be like, okay, I understand it. Okay. I like the movie. Mm-hmm. I like the movie properly good, right? My only issue is that once you hit that scene, you know what this movie is about. Mm-hmm. And my sort of issue is that it wasn't subtle enough for me, but this story is not a subtle story. Okay. So I think it's a properly good film. I think it's properly shot, edited, directed, and the sort of when the reveal happens, you're like, oh my God, everything makes sense now. You're like, I get it, right? And you sort of see the unraveling and you understand it. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I think it's worth a watch. I'm also of the mindset that you're either going to love this movie or you're either going to hate it. It's going to be one of the two. Okay, noted. And not just not as a Jake as an audience, but like in general, like you're going to be about it or you're going to be like, I didn't give a shit about it. Okay, interesting. Very, very cool. So yeah, check that out. It's on YouTube. Nice, I will. Next up, The Conjuring. They have a new movie dropping. Obviously part of the Conjuring franchise. The good parts of it, because they have bad parts of it. It's called The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. Have you seen the trailer for this, by chance? I have not. All right. So, like I said, the thing about The Conjuring that it does have the branches of it that are horrible, and then they have the mainline stuff, which has all been really good so far. So, this is all mainline. This is about the Warrens. And apparently, there's some really, really good, at least in the trailer, there's some very good moments of suspense and some very creepy shit that's involved in all of it. So, obviously, like I said, if you're a fan of the first two, I have a feeling that you're going to like the next one. It is coming out relatively soon. I think they've been working on it for quite a while, but much like everything else in 2020, kind of got moved around and readjusted. And it should be coming out soon, and I definitely will be checking it out. So if you have not seen the trailer for The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, definitely check out the trailer. Very, very creepy vibes. And in my opinion, The Conjuring probably, especially that first one of the scariest movies that I've seen that is like an original idea. So definitely check out The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. It should be coming out relatively soon. Cool. Next. So, so obviously I came for HBO Max for a couple of reasons. Then number one of which is going to be later down in the topics here. And I like how the topics are growing as we go along. Tom and Jerry. Yeah, we need to edit. We need to edit. No, yeah. Dude, we need to add. Yeah, Tom and Jerry. So Tom and Jerry, obviously, it's a movie that came out relatively recently. It was one of the hooks for the HBO Max, and I watched it, believe it or not. This movie was so fucking cute from top to bottom. I don't know if it's almost like a retcon of the Tom and Jerry lore, so to speak. But I've come to the realization of something while I was watching this film, and that is Jerry is a complete asshole. Yeah. I think I've learned that. I think when you're the SpongeBob effect, right? Where you sort of flip viewpoints. Absolutely. And I think, like you said, when you're a kid, you think Jerry's the coolest thing. You think he's funny. But as time goes on, I think I'm more Tom than anything else. It is a very weird thing. I'm just trying to hang out. Right? Yeah. He's just trying to live his life. 100%. And Jerry's like, hey. Yeah, exactly.
Chloe Grace Moretz is in this, and she is charming as ever. It's very hard for her to be in a role that I dislike. I just absolutely love her. She's fantastic.
Absolutely murders it every time.
Every time. She's great in everything. She has tons of range, and she's really, really good at this. It's a very, very cute film. It's not going to be an Oscar-winning film, obviously. They integrate the animation very well. And, if you're a fan of Tom and Jerry, you're going to like this movie. Very cute. Check it out. It's a C+ film. Loved it. Thought it was very, very cute, though.
Cool beans. I'm glad you went on and watched it.
Absolutely.
So I slapped another movie review on here. It's called As Above, So Below. Have you seen it?
I have never seen it, but I'm familiar with it.
Yeah. So people kind of dive into the catacombs of Paris
Mm-hmm.
to look for something. I'm not going to give away what, but it's a very sort of common, sought-after artifact.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the Holy Grail, by the way.
Okay, fair enough.
So I'll tell you this: I'm not a fan of shaky cam. There's just very few films that have done it well.
Mm-hmm.
Cloverfield, Blair Witch Project, the original one,
Mm-hmm.
and everything else is just kind of meh for me, right?
Okay.
In regards to shaky cam,
Fair enough.
this movie is shaky cam. I'll tell you this: there's something about this film that makes you feel fucking claustrophobic. Makes you feel like you're right down in the catacombs with them, and I want to give a lot of praise for that because it takes a lot for a movie to make me anxious. And now I was okay. I kind of, if you're a musician and you watch horror, you understand the timing quite well. There's a count to it, right?
Yeah.
Now, my girlfriend had to stop watching it after a certain point.
She just
She had to turn away. She was like, I am through the fucking roof right now, and I cannot watch this.
Interesting, really.
I thought it was proper. There was a couple of good scares, but just the overwhelming amount of creepy shit that goes on, blah, 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 and stuff like that. And I was sort of counting the red flags before they got into the catacombs. I was like, okay, where would I nope out, right? Because, urban exploration is really fucking cool.
It
right?
is,
And I'm not going to incriminate myself on podcast, but it's something that's definitely interesting to explore if you haven't.
Yeah.
And just, I was sort of counting them, right? I was like, okay, cops catch one guy. I was like, I don't think I'd be caught like that. I'd probably be like the second person down. This person was the last person to sort of attempt to go in.
Okay.
And the cops caught him. I was like, okay, first red flag, right? Heart's beating, blah, blah, blah. And then just as they keep going through and before the creepy shit starts happening, I was like, right here is when all the creepy half-naked women painted in white in the Paris catacombs and they're chanting, right? I was like, this is where I nope the fuck out. I was like, if it's dimly lit, and there are people chanting in sort of like this weird witch coven, I was like, I am out at that point. I don't care if it's a coffee shop. I don't care if it's a Target. I'm out.
Hey, man, you haven't been to Target very often because that happens regularly at Target.
I was there today, actually. It didn't happen today. So I guess I'm going to all the right Targets.
Yeah, I probably, yeah.
So, yeah, I just wanted to give that movie a shout-out. I think it's a very solid, B-plus film.
Okay.
Easily one of the better horror films that come out in the past couple of years.
Really?
I say that, but it came out 7 years ago, 2014. Absolutely worth the watch, and I think it has a very good sort of unique personality. Like I said, it has the shaky cam, but by the end of the film, I didn't give a shit.
I recall seeing this poster when I was
poster.
Yeah,
Great fucking poster.
frequenting the movie theaters back in the day because that's actually after I had just stopped working there, and me and Adrian would go to the movies every weekend. I recall seeing this poster on the wall. Yeah,
I'd say it's a good film, and if you think you're okay in elevators with 4 or 5 other people, think again.
Fair enough.
It's going to make you feel real conscious about those narrow hallways at work. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Very, very cool. Excellent. I'm glad you liked it. Let's go ahead and move along to this because I believe you put this on here. Cool beans.
Have you seen the trailer for the new Suicide Squad directed by James Gunn?
I've seen bits and pieces of it. You know how I am. I'm at this point where I'm tapping out with anything DC related right at the moment. Unless
how I am about superhero movies as sort of a general right now.
Yeah.
I'm actually super excited for Suicide Squad.
Yeah, we were talking all kinds of shit. What happened?
In regards to what? Me talking shit?
Yeah. We collectively have talked shit about this up and down. What changed your mind?
What changed my mind? Honestly, James Gunn, man. I feel like he's gonna have his foot down in regards to a lot of things. I mean, he did Scooby-Doo, he did Guardians, he did a lot of good things, right?
Yeah.
I feel a lot more comfortable.
Those were the 2 good things, but keep going.
Yeah, no. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's still a lot of potential for sort of intervention
Uh-huh.
and stuff like that with this movie.
Uh-huh.
I saw the trailer. I was like, I can dig this. It's properly bloody too. I was like, okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Earn that rated R. There's the big shark dude fucking eats someone in the trailer, rips them in half and eats someone. And I was like, yeah, maybe this is the Suicide Squad I never knew I needed, but now I want.
Did you know who's playing the shark guy, right?
It's Vin Diesel?
No.
It's the other big dude.
Sly Stallone.
Yeah, there we go. I was like, I know it's one of the buff dudes.
Yeah. He's doing the voice. Cracking me up on that, okay, but yeah, keep going, sorry.
But yeah, I don't know, dude. I just, I see these trailers left and right, and like superhero things are like still sort of the big movie goer at the moment. Like, I don't think we're going to get out of that for at least another 4 years before people are like, okay, I think we've had enough.
It's going to take the MCU to fuck up in order for this to turn around. For this to stop.
Yeah, I mean, look at the reign of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Right? Even before the prequels, right? That's still a solid 20 years, a little less. Dude, I'm just hyped for it.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
That's fair.
I'm just excited. I'm excited to see which way shit goes, and that's about it, dude. That's all I gotta say about it.
The thing about it is that I think collectively we could all agree that there are two bits of casting in the DC universe that has gone over extremely well. We've talked about Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman being one of them, and the other one being Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie. So
at first I was a little bit upset that they sort of reduced Margot Robbie to this role because I felt like it was one dimensional. But then now, like in retrospect, I'm like, now it's gonna be like it's gonna be a Batman situation where it's like, how the fuck is the next person supposed to play Harley Quinn?
Yeah, exactly.
It's so spot on. It's so good.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm willing to give it a chance. I did see her I guess her quote unquote solo standalone movie with the Birds of Prey, and I liked it quite a bit. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. She does a good job with the role. I think she has a very firm grip of the character, and like you said, it's going to be very difficult to kind of see the next person in line, if there ever is a next person in line when it comes to Harley Quinn on-screen portrayals. So it's going to be very interesting. Let's move on. So with that being said, the new Batman movie's coming out at some point. We've seen the trailers. We like what we see so far, but I did catch something that kind of pissed me off, and it's not really necessarily related to the film, but more so of the idea that DC thinks they can do it. So the Batman film that's coming out with Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz and all that good stuff, apparently it is a Batman quote unquote Earth 2 film. And when I saw it, I laughed literally out loud because I think it's hilarious and incredibly egotistical of them to believe that they could pull off an Earth 2 situation when they can't even get one universe, together and cohesive.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, I couldn't help but to just kind of laugh because it's like, wow, you guys really think that we give a shit about your collective extended universe to the point where you could start to do Earth 2 when you can't even get one universe together, and you can't even get a group of fans to acknowledge one timeline. So I don't know, it just made me laugh hysterically when I saw it. I don't want to say it tempers my excitement for the film, because it doesn't, but it definitely makes me kind of roll my eyes a little bit when I hear Batman Earth 2 when it comes to the new Robert Pattinson Batman film. So something
like get your first world in order, and then we can talk.
Exactly. And then, like I said, I attempted to watch the Zack Snyder Justice League cut, and I just could not get through it. I, for the life of me, cannot force myself to give a shit. I can't. And
that's hilarious, because I've seen people review it and go, it was totally life-changing. My opinion on the entire movie is...
Bro, I'm about halfway through. First off, it's the reason why it's 4 hours is because 30 minutes of it is fucking slow motion. I can't do it. I can't. There's something about it. I just can't get behind it. And I get, because a lot of people who like it, it's because it's giving more shine to, the Flash and Cyborg, and sure, but I just can't. I couldn't get through it. So, it's going to be a hard skip on the Snyder cut for me. And I know I haven't really watched the full film, so I can't have an opinion according to some people. But fuck that. I'm not watching it. I can't get through it. I'm not into it. It is what it is. So that's my opinion on the Earth 2 situation. I find it incredibly hilarious, and I'm pretty sure you feel kind of the same way.
Cool.
So let's talk about this. So, cause this was supposed to be the headlining story when when I was originally planning to do the podcast. But Godzilla vs Kong. Have you seen this?
No.
All right. I don't know how crazy you are about the Godzilla Monster Universe situation that Legendary Films has been pulling off over the last couple of years. I'm a big fan. I don't know how much you've seen of the Kongs and the Godzilla movies thus far, but I will say that they finally, in my opinion, got the mix right. All right? Because if you're a fan of these Godzilla monster movies, I believe that the plot is secondary. It doesn't matter. What matters is, are you doing these creatures justice? And finally, they have. All right? Godzilla vs. Kong is everything that a monster fucking fan wants to fucking see from their monster films. You give both headlining creatures the right amount of shine. But I'm not going to go into spoilers here. The right result happened, is all I'm going to say. All right? And overall, had a lot of fun. It was beautifully shot. Absolutely gorgeously shot. And the human characters weren't super intrusive to the main plot, and that is watching Kong and Godzilla throw down. So, 100% recommend. I love it. I thought it was fantastic. Would the casual moviegoer who doesn't give a shit about these creatures care? Probably not. But I am the target audience for this film, and I thought it was an A-. I absolutely loved it. It was fantastic.
Cool. A- on Kong v. Zilla.
Yeah.
What is up next? Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. So this also dropped this weekend. Have you seen this?
No, I do plan on seeing it, though. So if you could avoid spoilers for a little bit.
I will. But I will kind of talk about the general perspective on it. Because, we have talked hours upon hours on end about the franchise, right? You and me collectively, from movies to gaming to whatever it may be, anything Mortal Kombat has touched. I would think that both of us are pretty big fans of the franchise. This was something that I was looking very intensely forward to. And I was slightly worried because while I did like what the trailer is giving me, there were some character things that came up that I had some issues with. With that being said, Mortal Kombat dropped, shot beautifully, looks great. And if you're looking for kind of a... Because there's two Mortal Kombat camps, right? There is lore versus gore, or lore over gore, and gore over lore. I'm a big fan of the lore of Mortal Kombat. I know you say fighting games plots don't matter. So depending on where you fall in that category, you're going to like this movie more than other half. I liked it. There are some issues. But I think we will wait to talk and discuss those issues when you finally see it.
Big issues, tiny issues.
Shit. I don't want to say big issues because I don't think it is.
Noticeable.
Yeah, noticeable. That's the word that I would use. Definitely noticeable issues in regards to lore and timing of certain things. I think that Mortal Kombat being what it is, they kind of de-emphasize a particular very large aspect of it, which kind of made me upset to a certain extent. And there was one portrayal of a particular character, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about when you see it, that really upset me. I repeated it multiple. I'm like, I cannot believe they did X character like that. You're going to know. Most people probably wouldn't give a shit because it's not like a main event character, but a character that I am a big fan of. So I don't like the way they designed this particular character, and I didn't like he didn't have any lines. Like I don't get it. But overall, I would say that the star of the show is Kano. In a weird turn of events, Kano is very, very likable in this. Even though they tried to kind of counter that, they made him very likable and all that good stuff. For a casual fan, for a person who doesn't care super hardcore about the franchise, you'll probably like it. My wife liked it. She thought it was really cool. For somebody who is more nitpicky, like I am, you probably won't like it as much. But I think it's the second best Mortal Kombat movie we've ever had. So
aside from the first,
yeah, right next to the first. Because Adriana said, "Oh, people are saying it's the best Mortal." I'm like, I'm I'm like, that 1995 version is still far superior to this film. But
it's wild how well that holds up.
Yeah, it really is.
Actually, no sarcasm, no satire involved.
Yeah, absolutely. It really is. I think, because I don't know, I think it just got the characters right. And for that original Mortal Kombat film, I think I have talked about at length how Liu Kang is fucking Mayo to me. They made that character not Mayo in the original 1995 Mortal Kombat. So they kind of give him an edge, and I like that. You know, he was kind of us in that role where you're kind of like, really? Like, this shit it really doesn't make sense, you know? And they did a good job with that character. Now, they totally fucked it up in Annihilation, but we're not going to get into that. That's a conversation for a later date. But, yeah, so I liked it. I think the action the action moments were really well shot. The fights were really good. The design for some of these characters were like, whoa! Like, I don't want to spoil it, but there's a character that I'm like, that's the best that character has ever looked. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I liked it. Could have been better, but I think what they're trying to do is use it to springboard into a franchise. That's the feeling that I got from it, and that's how you're going to feel at the end. I'm going to say that the portrayal of Sub-Zero was spot on. I cannot believe they actually took that approach with him. He was borderline horror villain. Borderline in some moments. So, Sub-Zero was absolutely fantastic. I love his portrayal. They got that right. They fucking nailed it. And, very mixed bag is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say a B-, just because you put Mortal Kombat in it, I'm going to be a fan regardless. So, like I said, mixed bag overall, but I liked it, I would say.
Cool.
For sure. So, going back to the kind of the superhero topic, we probably should have rearranged these topics a little bit better. But Falcon and Winter Soldier has ran its course, 6 episodes long, completely fucking wonderful. I don't know how they continue to do it. They've spared no expense on these Disney Plus properties. The series from WandaVision to this. Oh my god, it is so good. They do such a good job with these, and they took 2 characters, well, especially one particular character, the Falcon, that you really didn't have a whole lot of backstory on, and maybe didn't particularly care about, and they made you care about him. So, I'm gonna say that if you're a fan of like John Wick, you're gonna like this show. So definitely check it out if you haven't. It's an A+. Both of them have been A+. Both of those Disney Plus, Marvel shows have been A+. I am very excited for Loki coming, within the next couple of months. So definitely excited. Loving it all. So definitely check out Falcon Winter Soldier.
Cool beans. Let's dive right into gaming. So Sony acquires EVO.
Weird.
A little bit. Do you think they're gonna try and phase it out, like, I don't know, like Super Smash Bros. Or something?
So from what I understand, they are not going to push their properties to the forefront of this. That's what they've said. But will the people who hold the properties, will Nintendo be okay with using Super Smash in an event sponsored by Sony when they're putting PlayStation 5s as an example on the banners? Will Microsoft be cool with Killer Instinct being played at an event where PlayStation 5s are on the banners? You know, so I don't really see a big issue with people who aren't console exclusive. I don't really see that being a problem. And I don't think, well, I mean, I guess Street Fighter V was console exclusive, but I don't really see a big issue with it. I think it's more from the perspective of the people who are making the games. Are they going to be okay with Sony being at the forefront of it? I don't know. What is your opinion on the matter?
I think it would be wise of them not to push it, and I think they're actually going to go the other way. And since it's, you know, now sponsored by this massive fucking company, I think they might try and bring some stuff back around that, like, maybe just, I don't want to say faded into obscurity, but like had a very strong, steady fan base, but couldn't quite make it to EVO. So I'm expecting the return of some maybe older fighters or some more underrated fighters. Okay.
Yeah, I can see that happening. Like I said, I don't think the issues are going to come from the Sony end. That's what I believe.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Especially with Sony be kind of refocusing its attention on America. because they've kind of closed down a bunch of Japanese studios, which upset a lot of people. But I think with the renewed attention on America, I think they're going to try to keep what goodwill that they have, because it's a very hit or miss right now for them and the goodwill that they have from the community. So I think it's kind of funny, and like I said, very weird. It's just a strange acquisition for them. I don't know, because
it just feels a little off. Like, it makes sense, but it feels a little off.
Yeah, it's kind of like something like a C2E2 as an example, right? C2E2 was kind of this underground.
If just Marvel bought up C2E2,
yeah,
pretty much the exact same thing.
Exactly.
You know, are you going to see more Marvel things? Probably.
Yeah.
Probably, but is it going to totally overwhelm and not let DC in? No.
That honestly, you nailed it on the head with that. That's perfect. It's going to be kind of a weird thing, and we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm glad that they're kind of planning EVO to happen still this year. I know there are some concerns about some of the titles that have been picked because they don't have particularly good online, and obviously we are not out of the woods when it comes to this whole COVID-19 situation. So, well, guess we'll have to wait and see what happens with that moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about some Call of Duty.
Just want to talk about it. COD World War II is again scheduled. COD World War II Vanguard is scheduled to be the next Call of Duty. I think it's tremendously. What's the word I'm looking for? It's tremendously blind to what I think the COD community as a whole wants. I think a lot of people will agree that World War II was not a particularly good game. So I find it hilarious that they're like, well, here was the sequel to that. It's like, well, what's next? Call of Duty Infinity War 2? Is that the next thing? Like, I don't know. Infinite War, whatever the fuck the game was called. Infinite Warfare, whatever the fuck it's called. Like, it's very, it just makes them look like they're not paying attention. You know? So whatever. I mean, I'm sure I'll buy it. I've only successfully, slightly boycotted one Call of Duty, and that was Infinite Warfare, and even then I still technically bought it, even though it wasn't for the actual game. So, you know, I guess we'll have to wait and see. I didn't hate World War II like a lot of people did, but I know that as a whole, like, competitive hated it. So we'll have to wait and see. And it's not really a situation where we could say, well, they don't have to care about competitive, but they do, because they're the one that are sponsoring it now. You know what I mean? So yeah. It's their thing. It's Activision's thing. The CDL is Activision's thing. So I just think it's kind of interesting that they decided to go that route. So yeah, that's all I really have to say about it.
Cool beans. And with the new Call of Duty, obviously it's going to release on the new gen of consoles, which you have acquired.
Yeah, so after all this time of telling myself that I wasn't going to worry about it, turns out that I am worried about it, because we were able to get a hold of one. I got a PS5. And a couple things. Notes. Holy shit, it is gigantic. That's number one. I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware that the thing is fucking huge in a good way. It feels hefty. It's beautifully designed. It looks very good on the shelf. But I think it's kind of hard to have an opinion on games because it's all last gen stuff that we have on it currently. The first real quote unquote game that was designed for the PlayStation 5 comes out next week. It's called Returnal, which I will be getting and I will be doing a review for. But there is one thing that I have to say about it that makes it feel like it's next gen, and that's the fucking remote. I think you and I had mixed opinions on the DualSense, right? I think.
Yeah.
I think we both had kind of like a mixed opinion on it. I think you and I both mentioned it really depends on how it feels. Well, let me tell you, it is very interesting how they managed to program this little guy. Because in this situation, let's give you an example. Call of Duty, right? You're used to your remote kind of just feeling a particular way. With this, it actually feels like you are firing a weapon. Like the control in your hand feels like it has the recoil pattern of an actual gun. So, in that sense, it is totally next gen. How the remote makes it feel in your hands. They have Astros Playhouse or whatever the fuck. The game that kind of gets launched with the title to kind of be like a demo for the remote. It is like full steam ahead with that. You could feel how different things feel in your actual hands. So I think it's kind of interesting. As far as the games so far that have taken advantage of it, not very many of them, obviously. But that's why I'm looking forward to Returnal, because apparently it has taken the DualSense into full account when it comes to the development of the game. And apparently you're supposed to be able to feel like rain even like on the character. So
nice.
I'm very, very, very excited for it. I think that it brings potential. I think one particular thing about the last gen that was extremely underutilized was like the touchpad, right? And I think when they kind of talked about haptic feedback with the remote, I think you and I both kind of like, well, it's the gimmick. It's the gimmick for this generation, right? I think it has the opportunity to become less of a gimmick and become more of a standard moving forward. So, so far so good. Very, very few complaints. I'm very excited to looking forward to the ability to actually extend the memory of the storage of the console, because I've already capped out because fucking Warzone. Don't get me started. But so far so good. I like it. I like the stand. Like I said, it looks very good on the shelf. You've seen my PlayStation Pro, right? The God of War one that I have.
Yep.
Dwarfs it.
Wow.
Yeah, it is fucking gigantic. I pulled it out. I'm like, holy shit! I had no idea it was gonna. Like everybody said it was big. No, it is fucking huge. So, very interesting to me. And I like it so far. So I'm not going to go crazy. I think it's fair to say when it comes to reviewing consoles, I think you have to wait a couple years down the line before you could actually give an opinion. You know, all I'll say is that I like it a lot so far, and we'll see what happens moving forward. Very excited for the future, though. Very excited. Speaking of the future, this is kind of...
We got to talk about the past.
Yeah, we got to talk about the past a little bit. So I guess they've kind of gone back on this a little bit, but we were told that officially the PlayStation 3 store was going to shut down. Like they were going to officially stop selling games digitally through the PlayStation 3 store. Sony has officially gone back on that. They've backpedaled very fast because as a whole, I guess the community kind of has been like, well, hey, we still play our PlayStation 3s, and this is like the only readily available to retail PlayStation 3 games, right? Because they don't sell 3 games anymore, right? Physically. So they're like, well, this is how we buy our games on 3, and if you want to totally piss off a very small but very vocal group of people, I would recommend that you keep it. So basically, they have acquiesced to them. They have bowed to them and said, okay, fine. We will keep the PlayStation 3 store open. There will be a day where it shuts down, but for now it's staying open. But they have completely canned the PSP library. Because who the fuck is playing the PSP any fucking way? So I thought that was kind of interesting. Do you have an opinion on the matter?
I think it was about time. It's sad to see it go, but I mean, you know, we're already 2 gens ahead. It was bound to happen at this point. Yeah.
And I just found it interesting that they kind of started backpedaling on it. I thought that was funny, in my opinion. So that's that. Let's get it going.
Music news and reviews. So a highly anticipated single finally fucking dropped. The Devil Wears Prada does indeed wear Prada. Chili cheese enchilada. So Termination from Zombies 2.
Yeah.
I think the internet broke a little bit when they announced they're doing Zombies 2, which is funny because I think I mentioned on this podcast that I asked Mike if they were ever going to do it when I had the meet and greet. They're like, yeah, we might do a Zombies 2, but he was like, we were thinking about doing a Cowboy EP. So
that's kind of funny, actually.
So much for the Cowboy EP, right?
I mean, you never know.
Yeah, you never know, right? They might have it in the bag.
Don't paint them into a corner now.
What do you think about the single?
Okay, so I will say my first initial listen through. Oh my God, Jesus Christ! I think I had a stroke. My first initial listen through, I was very confused. Not because it sounded bad; it sounded good. What was there was good, but to me, for my first initial listen through, it sounded very disjointed. It sounded like pieces were unconnected in certain respects. It kind of felt like the way I'm going to describe it was like Ludens by Bring Me the Horizon. How that song kind of sounded like you were switching radio stations halfway through. That's how this kind of felt like to me. But I will admit, with subsequent listens throughs, I like it more. There are aspects to it that I really, really like. I just thought it was kind of an interesting choice for the first single off this EP. Like you said, very highly anticipated. I think you and I can both say that the original Zombie EP is one of our favorite zombie media, period. You know what I mean? Because it kind of captures the essence of the media itself. And with this, I'm not going to say disappointed. I'm more intrigued. I kind of what to see what they're going to do moving forward with it. What was your opinion?
It was okay.
Nice.
That's kind of my opinion. It's a fine single. I have nothing against it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot more aggressive than sort of their last work. I'm still excited for the EP, but like I was telling my coworker because he asked me about it. I was like, "There's no way this is the meat and potatoes."
Yeah, I hope not.
There's no way. I feel like this is like I don't even want to say feeler track. I feel like this is something in between the Killers. Feel me?
An hors d'oeuvre.
An hors d'oeuvre, right?
Yeah.
I'm just it's perfectly fine. I listened to it twice. Whereas I still listen to Zombie EP a whole decade later, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not going to say I'm worried because I'm not, but I'm also like kind of not in love with this single. That's fine. I don't have to be. A lot of people do enjoy it, but just chainsaw sampling, please.
I agree. Like I said, I'm not particularly worried about it because I know that with product comes a certain level of quality. And we know we're going to get it. It's just interesting that they've chose this to be the song that kind of represents the mission statement. Yeah. Because you and I have talked about it. That's what a first single is, right? So I like it. Not crazy in love with it. If you had me list out all the zombie tracks total, this is at the bottom.
I would absolutely agree with that statement.
So, but what I'm most looking forward to is because I think we both can agree that Jeremy's vocal performance has changed drastically from the original from the original Zombies to where we're at now, and I'm really looking forward to his performance. With that being said, we don't have Chris Ruby anymore, right? Chris Ruby was like the guy who established the vision for the original Zombies. I mean, he does all the guitar work, all the main guitar work. So with Chris being gone, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how that transitions. Because for the Space EP, Chris was gone, but I think that was a good choice for that particular aesthetic, right? For this one, let's see how much they miss that leadership to heavy songwriting. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I liked it. Not crazy about it, but I liked it a lot.
Cool. Yeah, very much in the same camp. Like I said, I'm hoping that this is something that they're like, oh, let's get them let's downplay their expectations a little bit. Like, if you love it, you love it. But if you're not crazy about it, you'll be like, oh, okay. And then when they drop the whole thing, you'll be like, oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm hoping for too. Good, not great.
Yeah. Next career in review.
So I have decided on the next career in review because I believe it is my turn because we did the Chariot last, right? Is that right?
Yep. I have my notepad here. Go ahead.
The next career in review that we will be doing for you guys on the Second City Kids podcast is Taking Back Sunday.
Oh, yeah. I saw you queued up Ocean Avenue in the Discord.
Yeah, so Taking Back Sunday.
That's totally wrong.
Yeah, I know it is. I know it is. I wasn't going to give you too much shit for that, but you did it yourself. So we will be doing Taking Back Sunday, a full career in review, and they got a decent catalog, so it should be good to check out. I think you and I can both agree Taking Back Sunday, one of the quintessential emo bands from the early 2000s. And we will see.
No ifs, ands, or buts about that.
Absolutely. And one of the most important bands in our scene. I think we both could agree on that as well. And let's check it out. I'm sure it's going to be quite the fun conversation. The next career in review, which I'm sure will be the next podcast, is Taking Back Sunday. So I'm really excited, looking forward to it. I already kind of started. Got to jump on it, obviously, because it was my idea. So, Taking Back Sunday is going to be the next one. Plus,
awesome.
Plus, I also kind of figure a little bit of a different vibe than the other bands that we review. So,
yeah, absolutely. Let's get into the certified bangers of the week. A little outdated at this point because WeekWristMeetRazor did indeed drop a new single, but I played it for you. What did you think?
It was I.
Yeah. I think the addition of Knocked Loose. I think Isaac produced it.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistake.
I
thought that was a good addition. I think those two bands blend very well.
I will say it's probably their best single or best piece of music that I've heard from them so far. I will say that.
Sure. And this is a band you like really did not agree with when they first came out.
Not crazy about. Not crazy about them at all. But yeah, like I said, I think it's probably the best thing that they've done so far. And I guess we'll have to wait and see what they do moving forward with it.
Cool beans. Speaking about another band, Victims.
Slaps.
New Face, Same Loneliness. Great fucking title. I love the double slashes. Something about the double slashes get me.
Slaps.
Yeah, irreparably destructive.
Mm-hmm.
Properly fun. Dude, just Victims is a band that just needs more love and attention. And I feel like it's something we give them, but it's definitely not enough from what they deserve. You know what I mean?
You know what's funny? I reached out to them on Twitter and be like, hey, can I play your guys' music during stream? And there was like one word reply. Yeah.
That's all you need sometimes. You just need a
yeah. And I'm like, oh, sweet.
Yeah. Check that shit out. I don't know what they got in the works. I'm assuming an album or an EP. And watch, it's probably already dropped by the time like this goes live.
They dropped a cover of a Chiodo song.
Yeah. The word
best friend redefined,
right?
Best friend redefined.
I like it better than the original. Hot take.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm not gonna get into an argument with you about that.
Spicy hot ghost pepper take.
Yeah, for sure. Probably alienate a certain group of people, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah, watch. I'm gonna have all the Chiodos fans just tweeting at me.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Sorry, dude.
I just let you know I'm tweeting that out immediately. Be like, Gabe said something really ridiculous on the podcast. We're not gonna get into it though.
You sick the Chiodos fan base and the Dance Gavin Dance fan base on me, and I'm just gonna be wrecked.
Gabe's gonna be
all right. Let's talk about the tooth from the Beartooth.
Beartooth!
2 singles now, Devastation, and I can't recall the name of the new one that dropped yesterday, Friday.
Hold on, let me pull it up. I have it actually. I have it here. Hold on. Well, I did have it right here. Hold on. Give me a second, man. Fuck. Don't rush me. The past is dead.
Yeah. So obviously we weren't around for this, but New Coke.
Oh.
New Coke was like the previous album, or no? Hang on. What was this? New Coke was the one people disliked, right? And Correct. They brought back Old Coke.
Correct.
Yeah, this is Old Coke.
Okay, good. I'm like, wow,
yeah,
really?
Yeah, this is Old Coke. Because New Coke was, like, aggressive, and the album after that, I was just like, whatever, bring back the sort of rawness. Okay. This, though, I think this satisfies all of the previous sort of elements combined.
Okay, good, because when you said New Coke, I'm like, whoa.
Sorry, I got fucked up with it.
Okay.
But, this is Old Coke after New Coke.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna have to agree with that because I think you and I both thought kind of like, well, Beartooth, it's cool, but
I literally put away both Beartooth flags.
Yeah,
that's how not about Beartooth I was anymore.
Yeah. But like you and I are like, well, they're just not gonna be able to do the first that first EP and that first album were just absolutely genre defining. So it's kind of hard to live up to that. And I think this one has a fucking chance, Gabe.
It's good, man.
Yeah.
I'm like excited for Beartooth again. What is this, 2015?
Weird. It's a fucking weird thing. You and I always talk about it because I'm like, man, I said one time, it's kind of like my way of defining this is like, I wish I could be excited about a band as much as I was excited about Beartooth when they first came out.
It broke the scene. Yeah. There's no way about it. It broke the scene.
Yep. So, yeah, this is pretty good. Closer to what I like and further away from what I dislike about them. So that's good stuff. I like it.
Which is weird. It's like you don't know what they quite changed. It's still Beartooth, but like there's something. Yeah,
there's just something about it. I don't know. Maybe they're not as aggressive.
I didn't toss it on here. But Attack Attack did release a new single. And hang on. And this is a very twofold design, right? I'm going to say up front, I don't like it.
Okay, fair enough. Good.
It is a 42-second, instrumental produced sample. I will say that what they did right about it was that they took things that are sort of popular at the time and made people hate it. And I feel like that's quintessential Attack Attack, at least in the moment.
It's almost like... It's almost as if they're not actually coming back. They're just trolling.
I could understand the first single that was released after the hiatus, right? I could understand it, where it's like, okay, it just didn't work. And now they dropped this thing called Kawaii Cowboys. And like I said, it's a 42-second instrumental of, weird, bubbly, southern guitar stuff.
I feel like it's a fucking April Fool's joke that just went too far.
Yeah. And like I said, they did that part really well, where they take what's like hot and popular right now, and they made people hate it. That part is achieved. That's all I have to say about it.
Classic Attack, just making you hate shit.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
Just making you hate shit that you don't normally hate.
Yeah, and this is coming from a dude who likes Attack, who likes Someday Came Suddenly.
Oh,
you know what I mean? If I'm saying that.
To me, if you guys had to ask me what is Gabe's number one flaw, it's that the fact that he likes Someday Came Suddenly.
Out of all the shit I like and listen to after that gore grind cover of Old MacDonald in Czech, you're going to pick Attack still.
Yep.
Yeah, because Gouda likes fucking smack. That's why. Oh, by the way, if you're ever bored, you should watch one of their live shows. Dude, it is a blast.
I bet. I bet it is.
It is, like, not even in, like, a weird, like, they played at, the one you should check out is the set they played at Obscene Extreme in, like, 2014. Dude, these dudes played at 10 in the morning, and the fucking place was crowded to the nines. I was like, dude, I've never seen such a turnout for like a band, even at Warped Tour at that early.
You're
you know what I mean?
fucking lying. Don't lie to me.
Dude, it's crazy big. And then the camera pans, because it's looking at the stage, and they have a cameraman on the stage, and pans towards the crowd. It is massive. It is insanity.
Don't fucking lie to me, Gabe, all right?
No, dude, I did not know these guys were that big. Because you look at, like, the stream numbers, and you're like, okay, you know? But, like, you see the crowd, and you're like, holy shit, people get down to this. Obviously in Europe more so than here, but I was like, this is nuts. This is nuts. This is like if fucking, like, in, like, 2009 played a 10:30 a.m. Warped Tour set.
You don't see it, but I'm rolling my eyes at you.
It's okay. You said it, so I understand.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm telling you, watch this set. You're going to be like, holy shit. How did these guys get away with wheels and grinds for fucking 3 minute to, like a minute 20 to 3 minute songs for their entire discography, and then this is the turnout. It's insane. I don't comprehend it.
I expect a video in the Telegram promptly.
Okay. Done and said, my friend. Done and said.
All right, fair enough. Last up, Northlane, they released like a single. I think it's related to a fucking esports team. Am I right? I think I saw that.
Northlane's kind of your vibe, by the way. I like them, but like I don't know enough about them to be confident to say anything.
It's my vibe. Yeah. So I believe, like I said, it's like a song for like an esports team that they sponsor or something. It's good. It's right in the pocket of Northlane and everything they've previously done. Not groundbreaking in any way, shape, or form. Definitely not the next step, I don't think. But a very nice little track. Clockwork. Check it out. Northlane. Good stuff.
Cool beans. Any closing comments, questions, or concerns, my friend?
I believe we did that, and we did it in just over an hour.
Not bad. Not bad.
Weird.
Any fun things?
No. I think like I said, got baby shower coming up in a couple of weeks. I really don't have a whole lot to say.
Cool. Yeah, I just started sowing some seeds indoors. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. My goal is to have like a grow shelf of just common like herbs and spices that I can just, because we do, but it's outdoors. So like, that shit in the winter just is different.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to have like a year round kind of solution here.
Fair enough.
Because once you start cooking, you notice right away.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
So that's what I got going on at the moment.
Okay, fair enough. I believe, Gabe, that was episode 169.
169
of the Second City Kids podcast. We'll see you guys next time for 170.
170.
That's crazy. That's a big number. And obviously that will be featuring, or maybe headlined by, the Taking Back Sunday Korean Review and whatever the fuck comes up in between now and then. Thank you guys for checking out the Second City Kids podcast. We will see you guys next time on the show. All right. Thanks for everybody who joined us live on Facebook and on Twitch. But I believe that is all, man. Thank you guys for joining us. And until next time, deuces.